Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Here in a new live. Um, this time to explain this map. Yeah, finally, because it's important to advance and advancing and yeah, I want to advance and expand myself. Okay, first let's see if you can hear me. Okay, thank you. uh, okay, so uh, as I explained in the previous one of this. Wait a second. Okay. Yeah, as I explained in the previous one of this one, the small one is expanding now. There is more now. In the previous one was 5, and now there are 9. I'm going to try to make zoom when I can explain. That way, maybe you can see. As I told before, in order, I'm going to put all the photos of the other maps together in on my profile on Instagram, and yeah, you can take it from there. For now, I'm going to explain this expansion that we have now. The expansion of the zoom of the motion. Yeah. So let's see what can we do here to make zoom. I'm going to do here. I think like that. Okay, it's not totally visible, but yeah, I'm going to try to explain like that. Let me check a moment. Just give me a moment to go like this. Maybe like this you can see it better. And if not, as I thought before, I'm going to put all of this in my profile. So yeah, as in the last one, I we have 5, but now this span in 4 more, because yeah, we have 9 now. So let's explain. This is with the other map of that have a list of the masculine and feminine with the mother and father, and as I told before, is being true with yourself. So we have the number 1, so in the last video, yeah, about the zoom to the emotion with the 5 triangle. We have the rejection. This is the human when it's rejecting an environment, because we are in different environments everywhere. Like we have an environment in the house with our family. We have an environment in our jobs. We have an environment with our friends, and inside of those environment there is another environment. For example, you have an environment with your mother, you have another environment with your father, with your siblings, and it's the same with the jobs. So this is a human when it's rejecting, reject, and we have the biological sense and the emotional sense. You can recognize that you are in the number 1 when you have the biological sense, that is 6: smell, taste, hearing, and touch. Like for example, the rejection in this is I reject something that I'm seeing in my house, in my family. So there is something that I reject of seeing. There is something that I reject in my job hearing, and that after that rejection, when you don't accept that, you reject, it passes to the emotional senses. You feel guilt, anxiety, you feel tired, selfish, thoughtful, judgment, craving, responsible, etc. The general emotions. That's the first step of the emotions. Yeah. So, talking in these days with my Balak, we I got the example of this. For example, with the people that is always worried about the people from Africa, they reject, they have the rejection of what they are seeing in Africa or whatever country that is poor. So as they don't like what they are seeing in there, they feel a rejection of that. And that rejection, for example, can pass to guilt. The person feel guilty because the person don't like what they are seeing, because the person is like, I have money and I this kind of thing. I have the power to make my life, and people in Africa is suffering. So you have a rejection of something that you are seeing. You don't accept that. So that's the case. That was a case that we were talking, and yeah, it was really good to have that example. There is other example that, for example, in a job, you don't like something that you are hearing, and every time that you are going to a job, to your job, you feel tired, you feel your body tired, and that's because you are rejecting the environment, that there is something that you are hearing there that you don't like and you are rejecting. So every time that you are going there, you feel tired. And that's with other example, everything that you reject and you don't accept as that it is like it is, you reject. Then we have the number two, that is you get adapt. In this case, we have, when you get adapt, we have the fabulous tool that I really like. I know it like Kinexic or body languages, but there is also another name that is neurolinguistic programmation, that is the body postures, the cross-fallen, the blush, the cross the hands, cross the legs, everything that is with the body. So you get that. That's why before, many years ago, I told the people that I believe more in what your body tell me than what you are telling me, because people used to say things just because they are adapt, but the body is telling the truth. That's why that's an amazing tool, the body language, the neurolinguistic programmation. I wanted to study psychology many years ago for that, but yeah, I, I, I was like no with the university and all the educational system, so I couldn't do it, because for me it was not a good way to learn. So I was learning by myself. But that's a fantastic tool, because it's telling you what the people don't want to tell you, or want, even people don't realize that. Yeah, people don't realize that, but the body talk. In this case, you feel in the emotional state. This is a biological state. In the emotional state, and you have sadness, anger, shame, fear, contempt, and astonishment, uncertainty. The same that the other map that I shared with the five triangle before. Uh, yeah, we have the expansion here. Like for example, we have with the rejection. You reject something that you are seeing in Africa or in whatever uh, poor country, or something that you don't like to see. You feel guilt. That pass, that you get adapt to see that, because you continue in your life and you get adapt. So you say that you accept that, but your body tell you that, and you feel sadness. Feel sad because the people in Africa is suffering, or people in other countries are suffering, for example in the war, you don't like what you are seeing in the war, so the guilt passed to be sadness, and that with the others you can tell your own example, but it's being true with yourself in that case. So you get at that. Then we pass to the number 3, that is you don't flow. And you don't flow because you are adapt, and you are not being true yourself of the rejection and the adaptation. So in the biological sense, is the internal emotional pain. It's an imbalance of the biological human tempo. That's where appear the sickness, the diseases, headache, the cancer, all the things that are in the body. So you get angry internally. It's everything internally. And that pass to the emotion 3, that is the help, the abandonment, the abuse, the not seen, submission, not understood, victim, the same that the other that I already showed, share in the other life. Let's continue with the thing of the Africa. You reject something that you are seeing, so you feel guilt. Then you get adapt, so your body tells you that you are adapt. You get sadness. Then you don't flow because you want to help that people, because you don't accept that you are rejecting that you are not accepting that the reality of those people, those environment. So it's accepting that everything is like it need to be. The war, the thing in Africa, the thing in Latin America, the things in everything, in every place. So that's why you don't flow, because you want, if in this example you want to help, and instead of help you, because you want to help because that's a sign that you want to help you, but you put everything in the external. So you are not in you, you are just in the inside, in the outside, sorry. So you don't want to focus in you, so you put the all the things in the outside. Everything is not on you, is in the outside. It's like with the family, is my father, the person that is the responsible of this. So everything that you don't flow is because you are putting the things in the outside. So another important thing to share is like this. For example, 1, 2, 3 is the biological, the human part. In this part, the 4, 5, and 6 is the crystal, and the 7, 8, and 9 is the great, the consciousness. That is the human, emotional, and conscious. That is the great vibration in this case. So then we have a new one here in the last one. This it was just a line. It was not a triangle. But now we have like is the step number 4. That is the repress and the denial. Is when you again is you are repressing or deny that is the things are on you, inside of you, and nothing is in the external. So for example, in here is internal, and then to pass to the number 5 is external. Let me see if I have something that I didn't say in this to continue with the number 4. Yeah, we can continue with the number 4. So as I explained the other, you have a denial and repressing of this emotions, so you don't flow for that. In the number 5, it's like a like coming back and going, coming back and going and going. Like it's always going up, going down, going up, going down, because you are repressing and denying. Uh, for example, you get angry because you cannot help a person, so the you repress and deny many times, like 20-30 times during your life, and there is a point that it came the explosion. You born you have internal emotional burning, so you explode. It's what when you cannot control what you have inside and it's visible. For example, you hit a wall, or you want to hit someone and you actually hit that someone, or you take something and break it. It's a natural instinct that you cannot control, and as you are not conscious of that and you are not accepting that you are repressing a denial. Sorry, I'm drinking my coffee. um yeah, as you are not accepting that you are repressing and denial, and you are repress and denial, like it's your adaptation of that. You born, you explode, and you coming back, because you are not accepting that you are repressing and denial. You continue exactly the same cycle. You pass to reject, to adapt, to don't flow, repress and deny many times in your life. It can be 1 year, 2 years, months, and then it came up a moment that you explode again and again to come back. When you accept that you are repressing or denying something and start to be conscious of that, and don't repress or deny everything, and accept that is everything on you, or repressing your emotion, like for example you want to tell something to your boss or to your mother, and you for many years you was, or many months you was like keeping that on you, and you don't say that's your truth. You want to say you are a bad person, or I'm angry with you, and you don't say that because you have fear of being you. So when you accept that and you start to express yourself and not repressing that that's your truth, you can go there here. And that doesn't mean that this is going to disappear in immediately. This is a process. I can tell you that because I passed for that thing of the anger, and now it's like when I say that many times I pass for this moment of anger. Many years ago, I wanted to hit something like a normal person, and hit a wall or break something, like this anger that you want to, you explode, you literally explode. When I was a teenager, like every teenager, like they have this emotion you cannot control. It's a natural instinct. It's like immediately, like it happens in second, and yeah, it's not possible to control. Then you pass like to be more controlled that, and you have the sensation that you want to hit something or break something, but you don't do it, and you repress and deny until you explode, and that's a natural instinct that you do the things. You break something or hit someone, or yeah. uh so yeah, in my case that was evolving, and like a teenager breaking things, hitting things. Something that helped me a lot was that I practice box, so that helped me a lot to discharge, to express my anger with in boxing. But there is people that don't have that, so they explode more. It's more visible to them. So for me, it passed to a thing of, oh, I want to hit something, but I couldn't. I didn't. So for me, as I said, for me, helped me to have the boxing team to hit the tools in the gym, because even with people, when I was fighting with people, as a practice, I didn't like that, to hit people. So for me, I hit the tools, every tools in the gym. When I was not in box, I also did my own things to hit, like to express that. Yeah, but there's people that cannot control that, and they hit people, like, in a relationship. There is men and women that hit the others, and or break something, or yeah, they cannot control that. So that is going to be when you start to accept the repression and the denial. That's a process. It's going to pass uh, to the process of feeling that sensation of want to break something, to something that you feel anger, but you don't feel that sensation anymore. In my case, uh, for me, it was visible because people told me that my eyes reflecting everything that I wanted to do. Like, for example, the way that I'm looking at you or something. They told me, like, you are looking at me like as you want to kill me, or something like that. So it was visible for the people, that explosion. Now I have this little explosion, like internal explosion, but therefore I cannot even say 1 minute. It's for seconds, and when I recognize immediately for where it come, because I read this. I what practice this, and working myself, and recognize it, and being true with myself. So that's it's like a river that flow immediately when you get. It's like a natural instinct, but immediately you recognize that you are angry for, because a programmation that you have. So you accept that it's you, is everything in you. So that is like water that flow and disappear. So it's funny because now, I was always afraid of being angry, because people told me that I look like I want to kill someone or something. And now when I get angry, now it's the opposite. They tell me, like, I don't notice that you are angry, and I'm inside. I feel like, but I explode in myself. It was for seconds, but I explode. And they tell me, like, yeah, my balak, for example, tell me, like, no, um, no, you didn't. I didn't see you. I was like, yeah, but I wasn't. It was second. Yeah, but I didn't see it. So that's the proof that it's not anymore like that. In the moment that you accept that it's all on you, because that's also another thing. Like, you get angry and you say, like, immediately, that I know that it's me. I know that it's something that is something to work in that, because it's not magic. It's something that you need to accept. You need to be true, and it's a process. Every time it's going to repeat the same thing, but the only difference is when you are conscious. When you have all the unconscious, so, like, seeing, the things are going to appear all the time. The only difference is, like, when you are unconscious, you repeat all this pattern. But when you are conscious, you can continue, because you immediately recognize and you accept that it's all on you. It's nothing in the external. So yeah. So that's when you start to recognize, and you express yourself. You can be you, because you can tell, yeah, I'm angry because I want to talk with you. I want to tell this. So it's not, you are not repressing anymore. So you can talk with the person, or with a group, or whatever, with your friends. I don't like something of my friend, or my family. I tell them, I can be me, or you can be you. Yeah. So you can be yourself, and you accept that you want to rescue. And when you accept that you want to rescue, you recognize that the only person that you need to rescue, in this case, when we start with the Africa or the poor or the war that you want to help, because the war or something that you don't accept that the war is happening for a reason, that is the truth of those environment. You need to focus in yourself, because the only reason that you are focusing that is because you have fears of facing yourself. People have fears of facing because they don't want to accept things that they have. So the only person that you need to rescue in this case is you, and apply that in all the other the action. It's the habit of letting go or release. Is what I'm telling, like it's like a river or like water flowing really good. The thing appear, but immediately you recognize that because it's not unconscious anymore. You already know what it is. So you release. Uh, in that case, you pass to the action of release the role, release that you are not a son anymore or a daughter, or you are not a mother or a father, you are not a friend anymore. You release all the roles that you have in your life. You release the be right, like when you think that you know the famous I know. Um, when we recognize that we don't know anything, we can flow in a best way. Mm-hmm. So you release the need. You don't need anything, like, because release, it doesn't mean abandonment. It's don't need. For example, I want to give an example of the family. When we say release the family, it's not about the family. It's the release the I need. Like, for example, I need to have my mother because it's my mother, and you don't know exactly what it is, but you need your mother because it's something. It's a programmation that you is your mother. So you feel guilty, and you feel sad if you let go your mother being your mother or your father or whatever. Apply that remember that these are examples that I'm giving. uh so you release to need your mother. You are not abandoned. You're just accepting that your mother is not anymore your mother because you release the role. There are people that are walking in the same direction that you, but in their own level of consciousness. So you are working with them. You are not more or less than them. Nobody is more or less than nobody. Everybody is the same in their own environment and their own truth. So again, release is not about me. It's stop to need. Stop to need a house. Stop to need a job. Stop to need everything. You are not about those things. It's the releasing the thing of need. Then release these encodings. Release all this encoding, the encoding of hell, the abandonment, the not seeing, the submission, and you can release that when you accept your truth with the tools that is shared already, with the other maps that say about the mother, the father, all the programmation. So you release all those encoding and you accept that everything, it was something to your own expansion. And release, let go those environment. Release. If you don't feel good in your environment or your family, release that. Move. You can move. If you don't feel good in your job, be true with yourself. When you are true with yourself, everything flow. Believe me. Everything start to flow in the direction that of your true. But you need to be brave, because something really important is the fear. The fear is always going to be there. That's the thing, that the fear is always going to be there. But if you are not brave, you are not going to find your truth. And your truth is always going to follow you, but it can be it can follow you in a way, in a painful way, or it can follow you in a good way. It's your choice, like facing the fear, because the fears are not going to never disappear until we get the fusion of the human and the Christian are going to be there. I'm going to explain that better in the soon to the consciousness. I wanted to do it in this same live, but I think it's not going to be possible. Maybe I'm going to do it later, or in these days. I'm going to try to do it today, because I also need to do other stuff. But yeah, probably I'm going to do it today. That's the plan. Yeah, so you pass to the action of the release. And let me see if I have something more to say. Okay, let's pass to this appears with the soon to the consciousness that Dan Marut shared through the antron. The innocence. When you release, you start to see, you pass to the step of the innocent. That means that you can interact with beings of any kinds of environment, and I see, hear, feel their innocence. And for example, if you can see the innocence of any person, of any group, any environment, you can see your own innocence. When you, for example, now in the present, you can see what thing in the past happened. The present is the only thing that is important, and you can see the past. You can understand the past with your present. So when you start to see the innocence in other people, you can see your own innocence in all of this process. Example, a person that is angry because the abandonment of something, of the father or the mother, and the rejection of this thing, you don't judge, or you don't interfere in that, because you see that person is in their own truth, and you see the innocence of that person. So it's the same with the war, or the people from Africa. You see the innocence of every environment. Every environment is like that. Every person is like that, because they are in their own process. So you don't feel anymore, and that's something of being true. When you don't judge, or you don't want to change something, or you don't want to help, or you just let the people be in themselves, in their own environment and their own truth. For example, someone that want to fight with you, it have a programmation of fighting because it have an anger. So you, in that case, you have two options: fight again, because you also, it's a reflection of you, and when they fight, you want to fight because you feel angry too. So that means that you are not in the innocent. When that person wants to fight, and you see that person have a programmation, you see the innocence of that person, you just release and let that happen. That person is in their own innocence. It doesn't affect you. You don't have nothing in you. Like, it's like that happened to me For example, in Bosnia, when in a hostel something happened with the owner when I was in the hostel, and that person was telling me a lot of things. The person was waiting that I react of that, but for me it was like, okay, I'm leaving. And it was so natural that I didn't feel nothing. I just leave the place. Like years ago, if that person tell me, for example, something bad, I probably not telling something back, but feeling angry or feeling like something else. And if I go to my teenager, I explode and I tell a lot of things. But when we walk in through in and we are set our truth and we don't repress and deny anymore, and this kind of thing happen, you let the person in their own environment and you left. You are not obligated to be there. You just tell like, okay, and go. The person is going to explode, is going to be angry because you don't answer, but you just let that flow. That's seeing the innocent in a person. I didn't understand that until Dan Maru is playing this thing of the innocent. Fabulous, that things that appears now. And when he's playing that, I was like, wow, that happened to me in Bosnia with that person. And wow, it was like really expanding myself in that case. But yeah, that's in the biological. Oh yeah, I forgot to explain this. This is the action in biological. In the emotional, is released this emotion with this chart, with this card, with this map. When you born in an environment, come to yourself, come to see yourself. It what I explained before, but here is writing. You can write, you can see, read in this part. Is what I was telling. Instead of explode and put the responsibility in the external, you accept, you don't repress anymore, you don't deny anymore, you accept that you are exploding and you are burning, so you come to you to see you with this map, with this car, with the other one that have the mother and family, the mother and father and masculine, the other I already shared. Or you can do it by yourself. You don't need this. This is like a really good tool to advance in a fast way. Believe me. You can do it by yourself. You can use another tool, but this can help you really, really good. So again, with the innocent is like this, and in the emotional, this is biological, and the emotional. I understand the innocent. I can realize how each being work in its own, in its true and evolutionary state. What I was telling, I accept. I I can understand the innocence of every person. I understood the innocence of that, the owner of that hostel. So I just let that person be. She's going to realize in any moment that. So when you pass to the next one, the number 8 is the you accept. This is really interesting because the you accept is connected with you adapt. People think that they accept an environment and they don't realize that they are just adapt to those environment. For example, people that is really spiritual and go to spiritual things like ayahuasca or are always smoking weed or whatever, or with a gong or with a Tibetan bow or the om or a mantra. So you feel that you are accepting an environment and actually you are adapted. You can recognize that you are adapted when you explode and it's visible. When you when you are in an environment, you say that you are accepting, but in one moment you explode and it's visible. You are not here. You are here. You are just adapting to your family, you are just adapting to your job, because it's a process of feeling natural in an environment, but the truth is other, and that you are going to see that when you explode. The real accepting is when you can see the innocence, you can release, you can flow. That's the real accepting, and is what is a real love. I'm going to explain that now. So in the biological, your biological simply naturalize the innocence of each environment and accept the existing God, universe, whatever you want to call. For me, I don't feel comfortable saying God. So universe or the existence, yeah, to happen. You accept that everything is happening because it need to happen like that. It's different environment, different process to that way we can evolve, because we cannot see the other part, we cannot recognize the the place where we are. So the other environment are always showing us something. So it's just accepting and advance in that accept. So in the other part, you are honor, you are gratitude, and you are decency. So you can be honor, you can be the gratitude. Like gratitude, as Dan Maruk say, is not the mantra of be thanks, because we learned that since we are child. Like we need to say thank you, thank you, thank you. The real gratitude is when you are the gratitude. You don't even need to say thank you. Your own resonance, your own energy express that you are in gratitude with that, and you can feel that, you can vibrate that. So the accepting is a real love. I also have an example of this. The first time that I really accept that something needed to be like that, and I didn't realize also until Tanmaru explained this. I was in a situation of, as I say in the live where I was explaining my programmation, my unconscious, I have the abandonment, that is the rejection. It was a moment that I was with a person. I'm not going to say which person, because yeah, but probably chicken know who she is. But yeah, I was in that moment when I was living the abandonment and the rejection. And one day I was in that moment in Italy. And I have this dream when the person appears in the dream and told me, like, don't say nothing, just advance. And the person just leave. And I wake up in that moment, I feel I release, and I feel like everything was like a calm, like a balance, like yeah, like everything was so perfect. I didn't feel sadness or something. And in the next day, uh, or in the same week, the person was actually with the programmation of abandonment or rejection in myself. But in that moment, I didn't feel a rejection or abandonment, because I have this really good sensation with the dream that I had, and I accept. I just let that flow, and I accept. That was the first moment that in my life that I couldn't accept without feeling rejection of something. So I didn't understand that moment, but now I can understand that there was the door to the accepting. And yeah, as I say in other videos, in that video, my most thing of the rejection or about me were with girls. Um, Other environments, like for example the war or for example the animals. I was vegan for a moment, but it was a moment that I started to understand that I needed to accept that everything need to happen like it need to happen, like the war, and like I remember I was in Portugal and was talking with a person that was in this protest of uh, animals or something of the government, going all the times to this reunion that the people made in the street, like making disturb or something to the government see something and change something. And I was talking with that person in Portugal about that, and I accept that. I was telling in that moment I was not clear and conscious of that I was accepting in that moment. But now with this map I can see it's what in this part, the innocent, what I was explaining. With the present you can see your past and you can understand what things happen. Like the example of the abandonment with the girl, the example with the war, or the example with the animals, everything. You you can understand that you saw the innocent in that moment, but you was not clear in that. Uh, so now I understand many things in my life, and yeah, because I have this fantastic tool. So yeah, so that's the real love. When you accept everything that it is, you don't need someone, you don't need something. You just accept everything and it is, and let the thing flow. Let the thing happen because everyone is in their own environment. Everyone is in their own evolutionary state, and even if you see that the person is uh, walking in a circle like we did, or the people that is already here did, it's a process. So the people is going to realize that in any moment. So you just accept that. And it's accepting in true, like you don't explode. You feel like harmony, and that's the word. I was looking for that word before. It's an harmony in yourself. So just let that the thing happen at it need to happen. You don't need something, you don't feel nothing. It's like an harmony in yourself. And then it came the number 9, that is the system. God, universe, happen. Is the masculine. If you see, is the only triangle that is going down, because the triangle uh, like this is giving. This is giving to share all this process. This is the life the system happen. When you see this, you see that all this happen because of this. And this is a connection. In this point, I didn't draw it, but you can imagine that this is um, an infinite. When you are in this point, you just advancing, accepting, expansion, accepting, expansion, accepting, expansion. And again, it's a process. You are going to continue because the human has this programmation, so it's a natural instinct of the human repeating this thing. The only difference when you are conscious and you accept immediately, you that's as I tell in the previous life, the anger start to happen like an explosion of days, then it came to happen to hours or weeks, like months. Like for example, let's pass to months, then weeks, then days, then hours, then minute, and then it's going to be like in seconds you are going to recognize immediately, and your everything is going to flow. So everything start to be accepting expansion, accepting expansion, accepting expansion. That is the truth. So yeah, and the accepting, that is the real love. When you start to accept everything, when you don't accept everything and it is, you are not in the accepting. When you feel shame, sadness, anger, or something, like for example with a family or with your couple, you feel sadness because that person is not with you, you are in a need. You need that person to feel good. So you are not accepting. That's not that's just a programmation. When you accept the truth of a person and you let that person be in their own evolutionary state, and you don't feel anything, you need to be really true with yourself. You need to feel an harmony in you. You don't feel nothing. It's like yeah, like harmony, like a template, like you are like in a balance in yourself, and you are yourself. You are in yourself, and the people is in their own evolutionary state. So again, if you're not in the acceptation and you feel that you understand the love, you are in this. You need to release the need, the roles, everything. And just then is when you are going to understand the real acceptance, the real love. Yeah. So then is when you can the honor, the gratitude. So you are the honor, you are the gratitude, you are the sincere. Let me see if it's missing something else. Yeah. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Biology of the human, emotion of the human, conscious of the human. This is the part of the biological, this is the part of the emotions, and this is the conscious of the human. The three parts of the human. Then we pass to the crystal. Biological of the crystal, emotion of the crystal, conscious of the crystal. Then we pass to the great vibration, or the elevated, or yeah, biological of the great vibration, emotion of the great vibration, conscious of the great vibration. In those steps, human, crystal, great vibration. So yeah, I think that is all of the zoom to the emotions. I hope that maybe my example can expand yourself, but this again is a personal process, so it's being true with yourself. And expand the truth in yourself. Maybe your example can expand other people, but the most important thing is focus in yourself first, rescue yourself, uh, help yourself, see yourself, not in this thing of the rejection with the see or the hearing. Is learn to hear yourself, learn to see yourself, learn to rescue yourself, not in the external, everything the internal. Be brave to face yourself, because again, the human being avoid being seeing the truth of themselves. So that's why people smoke weed, because the weed, or going every weekend to drink a lot, because those things help to avoid to see the truth. Like for example, you have problem with your family, you are working every week, it comes Friday and you go to drink because you want to forget that, you want to see the truth, that you are angry with someone in your family, or angry with someone in the job, you are not happy. So you look for tools the external that help you to forget those things, and you are not facing yourself. And the truth is always going to follow you, and you are going to burn, and you are going to explode, and you are going to coming back. So this is the line that change your life. When you start to hear your crystal, and you start to advance. And again, it's a process. It's not magic. It's not like recognizing that you are representing the night. Immediately tomorrow you are going to be here. It's a process and need time. You need to be true with yourself. You need to be with yourself. Take your time. Release the environments and go to yourself. Go to people that expand you. Because if nothing is expanding you in those environment, like in your family or in your job, look other environment that expand yourself. I have that natural instinct since I was a child. I always change places. I always change because it was a moment that I was like, no, this is so boring or something. In that moment, it was unconscious, but I was always changing environment because for me, it's important to expand myself. That also a thing that I recognize my biggest fear. But I want to talk about that in other life, about the biggest fear, because when you can see the biggest fear, the fear that make you feel like you are going to die or something, that's your biggest fear. That when you just thinking that fear, you think that if that happened to me, I'm going to die. That's the biggest fear. But I'm going to talk about that in other video. So yeah, again, be true with yourself, and learn to face yourself. Believe me, when you jump in that, even with fear, when you are brave and jump, everything flow in a good way. And that happened to me many times. In those moments unconscious, now I'm conscious of the thing, so I jump. I have many fears now, but I always jump. So yeah, in probably later, or I don't know, in other moment, I'm going to explain the zoom to the conscious. For now, that's all that I'm going to explain, because probably I have already 1 hour. Yeah, so thank you for being here to my own expansion. Let's see if we can see each other later. If not, in the next day I'm going to do it, because I think I have a lot of things to do now. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, let's see each other in another moment. Bye.